What's going on, guys? Omar Yusuf here, just, putting out the vibe here in my backyard. You guys want to know, here it is. Got a pretty bitchin' pool in the back. Why are we filming so many Q&As or so many videos outside? Well, that's a good question, young Padawan. The answer is because my doctor told me, and quote, get the fuck out more, you look pale as fuck. So that's what I'm trying to do, getting my tan on, doing a Q&A. You guys seem to enjoy it. I like doing them. See, here's the thing. I get hundreds of questions every single day from YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat. I can't answer every single one of them, but this is an opportunity for me to answer as many questions as I can. The theme for this Q&A? Toning. Toning. Fat loss. Everybody wants to get shredded for summer. The answer is liposuction. If you're not willing to do that or use steroids, you've come to the right place. Forever Toning crew checking in. If you like these Q&As, once again, this long and loose style, hopefully you're on the shitter or you're in a similar position just putting out the vibe, like the damn video, and without further ado, let's get started. Diarrhea Face, I like the name, wants to know he's like body weight composition. I don't want to lose any strength or weight necessarily, but I'd like to cut fat and then continue to lean bulk. You're talking about the dream. Losing no strength or weight, but basically just getting leaner and thus building more muscle. Because if you're the same weight, but you're losing fat, then it implies that you're building muscle. Can I just eat at maintenance level while training to achieve this? Possibly, would be my answer. Why possibly? Well, if you're a beginner, the chance of this occurring is pretty damn high. Because you're a beginner, you can lose fat at the same time as building muscle. The more advanced you become, the harder it becomes to do this, and the slower the change will be. And that's the big thing I want to say. The slower the change will be. Meaning that you can lose a little bit of fat and build a little bit of muscle, but if your whole goal is just to shred some fat at the same time as getting yoked as fuck at the same body weight, that's not going to happen. So it depends upon how large of a change you want to make. If it's just a little bit, you're close to exactly where you want to be, then yeah, why not? If you have bigger goals, it's better to temporarily lose fat and then go into a lean mass phase. I hope that helps you out, Mr. Diarrhea Face. Zach Shake, high intensity or low intensity? Yes. High intensity cardio, I think you're asking about. So HITT versus low intensity steady state cardio. My personal opinion is that if you're doing low intensity, it doesn't really interfere with anything. So like doing an incline walk, why not a few times a week to initially start when you're doing your fat loss and then slowly incorporating other methods such as a high intensity interval training. So let's say 90 seconds at a slow or moderate pace, 30 seconds intense. You can do that 1 to 2 times per week, 10 to 15 minutes, and just see how your body changes. My best piece of advice always is to do as little as possible to achieve the biggest results. And so what I mean by that is that when you first start losing weight, you probably don't need to do pretty much any cardio. You just gotta be a little bit below maintenance, walk a little bit, and then over time you start adding layers and layers. So a little bit more cardio, so you start doing cardio, low intensity, move on to high intensity. By the end, you should be exercising quite a bit by the end of your fat loss phase, exercising quite a bit and eating less than ever before. That's essentially how fat loss goes. So we just changed camera positions because Else, what did you say about that geese? He's looking at me the wrong way, like he wanted a fight. Okay, Else, honestly, just who would win in a fight, me or it?
Do you want the truth?
I could take it, bro. It's been fun. All right. That's why I'm holding on to the stick, in case I need to deal out some justice. Varts wants to know, are counting macros more important for fat loss when you're at a lower body fat percentage rather than a higher body fat percentage? I actually really like this question. Thank you, Varts. I think it is more important the leaner you get. Why? Because it gets a little bit more complicated. The leaner you are, the more likely you are to lose muscle as you continue to lose fat. It reaches such a point as a natural when you get so lean that it's not impossible to lose any more fat, but the likelihood that you'll lose muscle gets higher and higher. So you have to be a little bit more methodical. When you first start losing weight, like if you're 20% body fat, dude, as long as you're eating a little bit less food, you're exercising a little bit more, you'll start losing weight. When you're at like 10, 11% body fat, you kind of have to be sure the macronutrients that you're consuming, the total amount of calories, so you could track it over time and thus adjust it. So I will say this, when you start a fat loss phase, you don't necessarily have to count macros, but the further along the rabbit hole you go, the leaner you get, the further along you want to take it, the more diligent you have to be when it comes to everything. I don't think I've ever been asked that question. What a great question, Varts. Lift code repeat. I assume you're a programmer who lifts. Should you increase, decrease, or maintain training volume during a cut? honestly, I'm surprised. Like, guys, you're asking some very good questions today, okay? We're not just asking the what does your poop smell like question. Maybe I should always have a theme. I like this question. This depends on a lot of different things. I've talked about G-Flux before, which means that you can lose weight at different calorie amounts. Here's an example. If you expend 5,000 calories a day and consume 4,000 calories, you'll lose weight. All other things being equal, right? All other variables. If you're expending 3,000 calories and consuming 2,000, you'll also lose weight. So what's better? Well, that depends on a lot of different factors. But in general, the further along you go with your cut, when it comes to actual volume, working sets for your muscles, you want to keep the same level of volume or decrease it slightly over time. Why? Well, let's get into this. You're eating less calories, which means what exactly? Well, you're going to recover a little bit less. So does it make sense to push your body even harder? Should I increase my total training volume, let's say sets above 60% of your 1 rep max, when you can't quite recover from session to session? No. What's going to happen? You're going to accumulate fatigue. And fatigue, in a way, when it comes to fat loss, is inevitably going to happen, right? When you lose weight, it's a tiring process, so you will get more tired. But why make it difficult or needlessly difficult on yourself? I would keep training volume from before, or slowly over time as you continue the cut, decrease it. If you do that G-Flux, so when you increase your calories more by training more, that allows you to keep a higher initial training volume, and then you could decrease it from there. But pretty much under no circumstance, unless you're talking just fat loss circuits, right, where you're doing, let's say, 5 exercises, something that's not difficult when it comes to an intensity standpoint, that's a different type of volume. But if we're talking actual training volume towards preserving your muscle, either keep it or slowly decrease it. Else, these aren't bad questions. I'm going to put this guy Daniel Q Vo on blast because he said, yo, you're not going to answer my question. Silent Mike would. And then he kept like snapping me like, you're not going to answer my question. I'm going to fucking answer your question, bro. And I expect an apology and you never to train cows for the rest of your fucking life. He said 25 pounds of fat. How long should it take for me to lose that weight? Depends upon how overweight you are. You did send me a photo, a suggested photo, if I might add, of you, where we could see the physique a little bit, okay, posing. Right on, dude. And you don't have that much weight to lose. Like, you do have 25 pounds before you're probably peeled to the bone and your mom is scared of how lean you're getting, thinking you joined some sort of death cult. 25 pounds can take anywhere between 16 weeks to 24 weeks. So if we go with a pound of fat loss per week, that'd take you at around 24 weeks. That's a very slow approach. For you at your training level, probably where you're at, I'd say 16 weeks. The good general rule I would give out is 1 pound a week is very sustainable, easy to adhere to. 1.5 pounds is a little bit more advanced, a little bit more ambitious. You have to be a little bit more in a larger deficit, and so it becomes a little bit harder to adhere to. Hunger pangs do occur the longer you do a fat loss for a fat loss period. And so the larger the deficit, the more likely you are to feel those and then get tempted, and it's harder to adhere. You go out and you've already eaten all your macros for the day and everyone else is enjoying the bread that they're serving at the restaurant that's complimentary. It's rough. So I would say 1 pound a week minimum, 24 weeks being the longest it would take. Team No Calves. Jake Meats, always using my same filter I use. I gotta answer the question. What's your recommended amount of cardio for a steady cut? 0 to start, walking. Then after doing walking for 2 to 3 weeks, incorporating some low intensity, so 20 to 30 minutes, 1 time a week. After say week 2 to 3, then I would do a second session. Then I would do a high intensity interval training. This would be probably week 5 to 6. So you do one of those sessions. So already at week 6 now we're at 2 low, 1 high intensity. Then probably another low intensity one. So you're doing 3 sessions of that, all the way up to 2 high, 3 low, and some walking throughout the day. As you can see, there's progress. There's not a set amount where you just start doing all of them. Like I said before, fat loss. You want to slowly introduce your energy expenditure, doing more. And so I'd recommend doing virtually nothing at the start, losing weight, and then as your body adapts, changing as necessary. AutoZone said, hey Omar, longtime fan, I appreciate it. I've noticed most educational videos here on YouTube and most places here on the interwebs. Definitely watches Mark Bell give advice to lifters who are starting of either skinny or skinny fat. What is your advice to some of us heavier bros starting off with a pretty high body fat percentage for weight loss and building some damn muscle? So I've said this before, if you are overweight, like you're just not comfortable with how much you weigh and you are a beginner, lose that weight. Because you are a beginner, you will still build a little bit of muscle while losing that fat. You will get stronger, and then when you lose that fat and you go into your lean mass phase, you'll be set up quite well to build muscle. So it's all a question of personal preference. Some guys are a little bit huskier to start and they think, you know what, I just want some muscle, and they go right into a muscle building phase, right on. But I'd say if you're over 20% body fat, like, you know, you're just kind of uncomfortable, you have those love handles, you don't like how you look, get lean first, make it a goal, be proud of yourself, achieve that goal, maybe take, once again, anywhere between 3 to 6 months to do that, and then go into a lean mass phase.
Can I have you sit?
Am I too suggestive? Hey, Omar, is it normal to lose weight really rapidly when you first start cutting? Yeah, totally. If you have a lot of weight to lose, you should be losing more like 2 to 3 pounds, even 4 pounds in the first week, first several weeks, and then it'll slowly go down to 2 pounds, pound and a half, 1 pound, and then you'll be like, what the fuck, the scale's not even moving. Welcome to the long game. When you first start losing weight, keep in mind there's a lot of different things going on. Like if you reduce your sodium, your carbohydrate amount, there's a lot of factors at play. They'll artificially increase the amount of weight you lose, not the amount of fat, and that's totally normal. So if you initially lose 3 or 4 pounds of weight a week, totally fine. Your goal is 1 to 2 pounds, 2 pounds maximum after that point. Big Mike wants to know, can I use creatine while cutting? I don't know where this myth started. I like how I'm waving this stick like, with intent. Because I am paleo at heart. I'm a caveman. I'm a Neanderthal. But you absolutely, I want to say this one more time, you absolutely can use creatine while you're cutting. There are no contraindications for this. It won't magically hold on to your fat. If anything, it'll help you preserve your strength. So creatine and cutting, yes. Creatine monohydrate would be my good general recommendation, 3 to 5 grams per day. Issy Mail wants to know, is there a certain body fat percentage that is most healthy for a teenager? Okay, so I want to be real here. I actually have a little bit of an older audience for YouTube fitness. Average age is 24 to 32. Most other channels, they're either 13 to 18 or 18 to 24. I actually get a little disturbed when I see a lot of these young dudes. I've gotten questions on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and they're like 15, 16, 17, and they're obsessing over their body. Not, I don't want to say in an unhealthy way, maybe it's society's expectations, who knows, they just want to look good. But dude, if you're a teenager, like if you're 15 or 16, I think the best thing that you can do is develop a healthy relationship with lifting. You lift because you love to lift. You want to get maybe a little bit stronger. You learn the basic moves. As long as you're not overweight to a point that it's holding you back, like walking upstairs is causing you to get out of breath, just lift, man, because you love to lift. Eat, you know, good, I don't want to use the word clean food, but let's say whole food most of the time. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your lifting. Don't take it too seriously where we become needlessly obsessed to the point where it could be a development of orthorexia, which I have definitely seen in a lot of young kids. Body fat percentage, man, as long as, again, you're not overweight and you're a teenager, lift because you love to lift. Farzana wants to know, am I fat? Else, only you can answer that question.
Shredded to the fucking bone.
Shredded to the bone. This is actually how lean my calf looks right now. If you just want to have a close-up of this.
Accurate size.
Mr. Cameraman.
Accurate size.
Accurate.
I
Okay.
can't zoom in. I'm sorry.
It's impossible. The technology currently doesn't exist.
Nope.
We don't know how to do it.
Not today.
Well, guys, that is all the time we have. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. If you liked the video, like the damn video. Else, how many likes do we want? Give me something realistic. I swear. Else. You know, 50.
50,000. We can do it.
Okay, you guys have been great so far. I just want you to know that Else gets paid based upon likes, hence his incentive. How much do you currently get paid?
2 Diet Cokes a week.
Okay, that's pushing it. I didn't agree to 2. I said 1, 2 if I like the quality of the work. Like the damn video, and I'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace!
Hasn't it been 3 hours plus workout? Your anabolic
What?
window.
Dude, it's... We're in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna have to go paleo. Come, in the jungle. Are we quiet? Else, can you stop breathing? Look, he's getting ready to take off. Must walk very, very quiet. Oh, Else, did you get that?
I got it.
Did it look cool?
Yeah.
It's my only stick. Okay, these geese are definitely more dumb. They're more my speed. Ugh. A lot of you don't know this, but I was actually paleo most of my life. This is how I ate, you know? It's like we're about to have a feast. Gotta be quiet.